Hello, I'm James Preston and welcome to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks, exclusive to Kalkine TV. In this episode, I'll be shining a light on Pledger Giving. Pledger is a social impact platform that allows for e-commerce brands to fundraise for charities. And to talk us through how it all works, Westen MacIntosh, the CMO of Pledger, joins me live now. Westen, great to have you here with us on Kalkine.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Now, great to have you here. Westen, first and foremost, how exactly does Pledger work?
So what we are is we are a social impact as a service tool. So there's a thing called social impact. Basically what it is trying to make a difference in your community. So this is up to you. It can be your household, your local town, your city, or the world. So what we do is we try and help online retailers take the community they choose, making it. So this can be environmental, planting trees, removing plastic, or it can be helping homeless off the streets. You really get to choose what you want.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, there's obviously things as well, such as GoFundMe, Donor, Crowdfunder. How does Pledger differ from those platforms, though, for people who might not be 100% across it?
So awesome. There's a lot of very cool platforms out there for this. What we're trying to do with Pledger is make the impact well known and make it a long-term system. So the big thing we see with these is that you want to have an authentic partnership. You're going to see a lot of people do short-term campaigns on GoFundMe for specific causes, which are cool. Some of them are fantastic, but you often can't track exactly where the money's going, or you don't necessarily know. So with Pledger, a big thing for us is impact. So track the number of meals you provide to homeless, whatever the cause may be. So what we're doing is we're providing the impact, but we're also trying to provide authentic partnerships, which is the big thing. So you probably see every month a lot of major corporations will change the color of their logo to sort of meet whatever's going on that month. We're trying to marketing the benefits of social impact, but people actually do see through that, and there's a lot of virtue signaling that goes with this. So what we're trying to do is make sure that when you're working with Pledger and when you're working with a charity, it's an authentic partnership, it's trackable, and it actually makes sense for both you and the consumer.
And talking there about authentic partnerships, something a bit more long term, what would be one of the good examples from 2021 of a brand that you worked with?
So we have a number of brands that are onboarded, a lot of small ones. So I've got a couple of personal favorites that are very minor. Some are niche rescuing turtle doves in the UK. There's an all-woman anti-poaching squad in Africa that's protecting rhinos. There's a lot of really cool ones there. But the biggest one we're seeing, obviously, is tree planting. So it's simple, it's trackable, and obviously, if you feel the temperatures, I'm sure Australia's pretty hot right now. But if the temperatures, global warming is a thing, climate change is a thing, so people are trying to help and act on that. So it's not very exciting, but it's trackable. So tree planting is probably the biggest one.
Well, so how can e-commerce brands then incorporate sort of meaningful social impact into their business, and then in turn they can help grow through giving? Is that kind of the goal here of Pledger, is to have those perfect alignments between a cause that a company and its consumers would probably be quite interested in, and then that will help them grow further in that sense, because there's sort of that, I suppose, connection, that deep embeddedness, where it's a case of, yes, we believe in the vision of this company, we like the fact that they've aligned themselves with this brand. Is that sort of how you see Pledger helping businesses grow?
Absolutely. So I love to see people take money, well, RIP, but he would have taken money from anybody to help conserve the environment. Like, if you want to plant 20,000 trees at the end of the year, I support you, plant trees, I'm in for that. But it's not authentic, and people see through that. So the thing with social impact is that when you have it as part of your brand, part of your purpose, the consumer knows they want this. They're going to buy more from your site, they're going to come back more frequently. And that's why people pretend and sort of do this purposely. So there's a couple simple rules that work. Try and have something that's consistent with what your company is selling. So if you're selling mugs and you're saving bees, great, that's awesome. But they won't necessarily draw that connection. Versus if you're selling, say, bike helmets or bike parts and you're supporting the World Bicycle Relief, that connection can be drawn to the connection. See what's going on. So that's wonderful, that's great. If you're a smaller retailer and maybe you don't want to give donations yourself, use Pledger and have your customers donate, or help a local charity. There's tons of big charities that are fundraising for us. We're great, support them, but there's a lot of small charities that come in and maybe give them a couple $100 a year or a few $1,000s a year. It goes really far, and the story you can have there is good. They'll promote you as well. You promote them. You talk about them. And you're real. People know that, and they will reward you.
Now, as part of the Shopify function within Pledger, what I want to break down is, for example, if someone buys, say, a $20 shirt, for example, how much will be then given across to the charity that they're affiliated with? Is there a way that you can adjust the parameters to say, hey, 5% of every sale goes to this, or is it 1%, is it 10%? How does that work?
It's up to the retailer in terms of what they want to do. So you've got some larger companies that are giving, say, a 0.5%, but they're maybe selling ovens and stuff where they can't afford. The margins are a little bit thinner for a lot of projects, for a lot of products. So they'll give a 0.5%, or they'll give a few pounds per order. But we have some really cool companies that are straight up giving 20-30% of the revenue to niche charities.
Wow.
It's almost like they don't want to make money; they really just want to help. You see with talk about authentic partnerships, but a lot of these founders have personal experience with charities, whether it's cancer research or who may have benefited from these charities in the past, and they truly just want to give back. And what we see, because we track a lot of the orders, they perform very well. Like, they're trying to give their money away, but it's coming back because people love them. They're great people. So you can give 1%, you can give 5%, or you can ask your consumers to donate.
Now, you're also talking just a little while ago about smaller retailers being involved as well. Is there a minimum size that there needs to be to get involved with Pledger, or can any company theoretically do it?
Any company can do it. We don't want to gatekeep it. You see companies like Amazon and the Climate Pledge where they're giving $1 billion to fight the good fight. But we know where the money comes from, obviously. If a small brand wants to come in and donate £1 a month because they're selling mugs to support these, we're all for that, and we want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to make that difference.
Well, I think a big thing for me and many others is that I'm only comfortable giving if I know where my money is actually going to go to. So with that in mind, how does Pledger actually keep things transparent and I suppose simple, so it's easy to follow the entire process?
So when it comes to, say, the customer journey, you can see the money's going somewhere. That's cool. Are they telling the truth? Are they lying? We don't know. So what we do with our purchase is that when you make your purchase through Pledger, you get a few different options. So the consumer can actually pick which charity they want to support. So if you have a few that you love, tree planting, bees, once again, because I know it's stuck in my head right now, and homeless, you give your consumers the option to pick. What we try and do with as many of these charities is hard impact for the money. So if buying that $20 T-shirt, £2 or $2 is going to be for charity, that's going to be 2 trees planted. That's going to be half a meal, whatever that equates out to. It's really tracking. If you can show what the impact is, that's what we try to be transparent to us.
Well, Weston, what's in the pipeline for Pledger in 2022?
We've got some pretty cool partnerships that are opening up. So as we've been sort of growing and developing, a lot of our charity onboarding has been coming through shops. People come in and we have our sort of our favorite charities, the charities that we started with, Pledger, tree plantings, the ones that we're trying to onboard tens of thousands of charities at once, because every time a new store comes on, we want to find new charities, but they want to support specific ones. So we're trying to really grow and develop that. And we're also adding a lot of sort of impact tracking features. What you're seeing in a lot of countries, especially the UK, with companies based in Germany, ESG reporting is not just a trick anymore. You have to do it. There's legal obligations that are coming in the pipeline. You have to be showing your environmental impact, but track your social impact as well. So what we're trying to do is provide all the information, all the tools to make this easy for players. I did this for years. It was the most soul-sucking job numbers and data to governments. It's not fun. I don't want anybody to have to do it if they don't have to. So we're trying to give people all the tools and all the resources to do it to us.
Yeah, wonderful. And just before I let you go, Weston, how can we find Pledger, whether you be a business looking to get involved or a consumer who wants to find who is actually being supported with Pledger's application? How can we find you?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a link here. Or if not, if you go to Shopify and just search charity, we're the first company that comes up because we're just the best. Or if you just search Pledger on Google, you're probably going to find us. So search or the product that works to help social impacts, go for it. Do whatever it takes.
Perfect. Well, Weston, thank you so much for your time today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, that's Westen MacIntosh, the CMO of Pledger, and if you missed any part of that interview, you can catch the entire chat on our YouTube channel, Kalkine Media, so make sure to subscribe. That's all for today, though. I'm James Preston, reminding you to stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.